Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
For tracks, obviously. On the lot.
He became steel resistant.
Hello and welcome to another live session here with Earthworks Hub. I'm your host, Ivan Orlovic, going live with Ive, and we're on YouTube. That's right, we have moved across to YouTube. This is the third episode on YouTube Live. I feel a lot more comfortable than when we first did the other sessions. Everything looks a bit clearer, crisper. I've worked out where I've got things. I've got my iPad here, my phone, all set up. And I've got my guest waiting in the background, so I'm a lot more organized this time. So it means we're going to have a really, really good session. I've got a good feeling about this. I can see a lot of people joining already. A couple of shout outs there. Prince of Civil, New Zealand Earth Mover, Chris Can Talk. There's a couple other ones there. Here we go. Oh, there's a few other ones. Yeah. Good. Thank you very much. It's Sunday, the 25th of January. Happy Australia Day, 2026. If you haven't already done so, go and subscribe to my YouTube channel, Earthworks Hub, and then you'll get notified about these live sessions and you'll never miss one. So you'll be able to always get told there's one coming up. And I think it even notifies you like half an hour before and then a few minutes before. So there's no reason that you miss out on an episode. If you do happen to have to leave a bit earlier or can't sit for the entire show, this does get recorded, stays on the YouTube Live playlist. And then I do a polished version. So I go through, fix a few things up, put the intro, outro, and put it on the proper podcast playlist. And it also goes up on Spotify and Apple as well. So that usually happens, in about a week. But the live one will be up there basically straight away. So if you do miss something, you can go back and watch it. So once again, thank you very much for joining. Make sure you also share it. Share this to everyone because we want exposure. We want as many people as we can to be joining us. There's a lot of people that are still following on Instagram and keep asking me, when are you going to be live again? I think they still haven't got the message that we're doing it on YouTube, and that's it. It's happening. So we're going to try and drag all of them across. So if you're watching, you probably see me every now and then grabbing my phone and doing something with it. What I'm doing is I'm still going live on Instagram every now and then just to show everyone that we're over here. Like, come over. Don't wait. Just come and do it. All right. So what I will do is, instead of letting my poor guest sit in the background and wait until I do all the intro and that, I'm going to do something different. I'm going to invite him in so he can sit through with me. Also provide some feedback if he wants. But I'm going to have tonight a guest. His name is Chris Meadows. He is a trainer, so he does all sorts of training in construction, including licensing people for their excavator and all sorts of earth-moving tickets. So I met Chris a while back. We got chatting, and then we started talking about mental health. And his side passion is dealing with or helping people deal with mental health. So it's a big topic. I want to bring him on, and then we're going to talk about that and some of his experiences, how he can also help you if you need something. So let me just invite him on. Give me 1 second. I will invite him on right now. Show Chris. Here we go. Here he is. Chris, can you see me?
Perfect, mate. I've got you.
Beautiful. So I introduced to you guys Chris Meadows. Chris, thank you very much for joining us tonight.
My pleasure. Good to see you again.
Yeah, that's it, man. That's it. So it has been a while. What we will do is we'll talk a little bit about how we met and everything, and then we'll get into the mental health after I do all the formalities. So so we met when I first started Earthworks Hub. I think one of the first couple of things I did was go and see a training centre, Foresight in Hallam.
Yeah, that's right. Yep.
I met you there while I was walking around and that. So it's been pretty much since
been a couple of years. Yeah,
it's been a couple of years now.
Yeah.
So tell us, what are you doing with yourself? You're not there anymore, are you?
So no, I moved on from there. Still training. Moved to a company called Construction Training Group, based out of Wanturna. We've got Rowville and we've got Wanturna, another one in Pakenham. So I do the licensing for the machines, the heavy machinery tickets, all that sort of stuff, excavators, skid steer, roller, backhoe, and front end loader. Also do a couple of trench courses, chainsaw, first aid, things like that. But along the journey, the main thing that comes out to me is 85% of the men that I deal with are suffering. They're suffering in the dark, mental health issues, all these emotions, feelings, and don't know what to do about it. So that is a huge part of the exposure that I get day in, day out. So that's what I want to talk about, and just talk about it. pretty
Yeah.
much make it normal to talk about it.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, that's the issue, and anybody that sees this will probably agree with me. The men don't just sit around and talk about being sad, talk about feeling a lump in their throat and all that sort of stuff, and that's what I want to normalize. However,
Yeah.
we can
Yeah.
do it. Mm.
I agree, man. I agree. So we had Sean from the Shaka project on a while back, and he's a big advocate for like mental health and positivity and reducing suicide and all that stuff. So I know you said you've got some rates when we we're talking off air, on or some statistics that we can go through.
Yeah,
So
yeah, definitely.
we'll do that a little bit as well while we're chatting about that, and then you've got some stories to share even about yourself, which will be good for people to hear. So
Yeah,
yeah, so let's do the formalities, and
no
then
worries.
we'll get to that. So sorry guys, you can see me recording. I'm just telling everyone, if you're on Instagram and you can see this, guys, go to my YouTube. Go to YouTube. Look, pointing to it again. We're here. We're here. Come to the YouTube channel right now. So yeah, a big shout out to our major sponsors. So that is Melbourne Tractors, Earthmoving Warehouse, Team C Cancella, and Pro Screen Australia, who you will see on the front page of the website. I've changed it. I've done some changes on the website now, so you'll see the first thing that comes up is a search bar for all the business listings and events and that. Then underneath that, you'll see the major sponsors, and then you'll see a bit later down all the other sponsors. So big shout out to all the major sponsors. You guys help a lot and make all this happen. So thank you to them. And we do have a new sponsor announcement tonight, which is 10 Star Simulation. So 10 Star Simulation, let me turn this off because my arm's starting to hurt. I better stop that now. They've got enough. They should be jumping over now. They should be. So 10 Star Simulation. They're a Swedish company. They develop and sell simulators. So they basically sell a simulation-based, and Chris, you might actually know some of this stuff, but they sell a simulation-based training tool. So it's like a seat with a screen in front of it and all the joysticks and that. So you can actually train in a safe environment in a simulator, and they do all sorts of stuff from agricultural to trucks to transport, construction. They can do all types of training on their simulators. So what they also are offering is for all the Hub Club members. So if you're a member of the Hub Club, they're offering a really good discount to go along with their new venture with us. So thank you very much to our new sponsor, 10 Star Simulation, man. So there's more news to come. We'll talk about that a bit more. So do you guys, at your training, I know we're not meant to talk about training much tonight, but do you guys use simulators at all or ever thought about them?
No, I don't think it's practical. I think the outlay for a training center, I'm not sure if it would be practical. I do know they exist. I actually show some YouTube videos of simulators and show that it actually exists, because a lot of people don't know that, things can be operated autonomously. In the mines, some heavy equipment can be operated from your lounge room, which is pretty crazy to think about.
Yeah.
Yeah, but no, I've never seen it in a training facility that I know about, but it's bloody cool stuff.
Yeah, yeah. Well, yeah, it's more and more prominent now. I'm hearing more and more about all this stuff. So who knows?
Mm,
We'll see. We'll see.
yeah,
So
awesome.
10 Star have told me, so this is actually news for everyone, that they may be giving me one to have in my studio here for a while just to
Oh
give it a bit of
yeah,
a go. So you might see us all having a bit of a go on it one day.
absolutely.
There you go. So that's in the talk.
Yeah, yeah, that'd be awesome.
That's it, man. We'll see how that goes. All right, so let's do a industry and Earthworks Hub wrap up for the week. So let's do a bit of a roundup, not a wrap up. So a recap, last week I had James from Precision Environmental on. We spoke about him hiring a student through the VET system, through schools. So we spoke about that. Could be a good opportunity to try and, train someone up and get them in fresh while they're young and teach them the way you want and all that sort of stuff. And a bit of a low cost because, the school covers a lot of the costs and this and that. So that's a good opportunity that we discussed there. Then we spoke about his hydraulic shears that he's got on his excavator and how he managed to change the hydraulic flows. Originally on the first episode, people mentioned there was too many commercials or too many ads coming up during the live. So I've cut that right down and set it to the low setting. And last week, a lot of people told me that it's heaps better now. So I'm happy to hear that. Oh, Moba's joined. Thank you for joining, Moba. So yeah, that's fixed now. We did a giveaway for the December month, and that was won by Born Again Earthworks. So he won a pair of 2 Savage Sunnies. And don't forget the prize for this month is this remote control dozer. So
Oh,
if
that's
you want to
awesome.
be in the draw for this automatic for this remote control dozer, you need to be a member or a Hub Club member of Earthworks Hub Club. You're going to become a member in this month. So not long to go. This is the last week. So make sure if you do want to join, go into the Hub Club section of the website and it will guide you to what you need to do. What else? The website, speaking of the website, I've updated heaps more again. What I did, actually, I've made some more templates. Someone asked me if I have, this is an old docket book that I used to use, and they've asked me if I have templates for that. So I made one. So there's one I've made today that's going up tonight. So there'll be a template going in so you can make yourself a docket book to get signed off every day while you're at work, and a whole bunch of other ones, hourly rate calculators. People have been buying them. Even during the week, somebody bought one. They bought a pre-start checklist. Somebody bought the business starter pack again. There's a business starter toolkit, which I've just made as well. So for anyone that's starting out, there's like a whole checklist that you can follow, and it actually gives you the volume estimator, the hourly rate calculator, working out your return on investment, all that sort of stuff. There's a whole bunch. Go to the shop in the Earthworks Hub webpage, and you'll see it there. And what else? And this thing, let me find this photo for you guys. I'll put this post up during the week, and I got a lot of feedback on it. So can everyone still see me? Can you see me, Chris?
Yeah.
All right, beautiful. I'm just going to find this photo because I was driving on the freeway and suddenly there was all this traffic and they were guiding us through and filtering everyone. And then I realized what actually happened. So where's the picture? Give me 1 second here. And so I posted it this week, and it was a big hit. Everyone's been commenting. Oh no, why isn't that opening? Hang on a second, guys. Of course, nothing opens properly when I want it to. Yeah, look at that. So I drove past this the other day, and what I was thinking is, as I drove past, that's fallen off the truck on the left-hand side. Imagine if he was in the right lane. If he was in the right lane and there was a car beside him, that would have squished the whole car. I think that was like a 10 or 14 ton machine, man. So that's pretty heavy, man. So yeah. Don't know what happened, whether he had the Bluetooth chains on. People were saying, oh, did he have Bluetooth chains? Did he have, he didn't, what did someone say? He didn't say, that'll go, that's not going anywhere before he took off. And all these comments, I got everyone stirring up about it. But, in all seriousness, that could have been a lot worse. If he happened to be in the right lane and hit someone's car, I reckon they would have been squashed. So just be careful, guys. Yeah. To everyone out there, let me know your thoughts on that. But it's not a good sign if people are still having these sorts of issues, man. I reckon if you've got a chain down, there's no way that could have come off. I don't know. If you had both chains on each side, at least one would have held it on. I don't know. Anyway, so that's my little bit of advice for everyone this week. Make sure you chain down your machines properly, because that's what can happen. That was here in off the Calder exit on the freeway, so in Melbourne. So there you go. So just be careful, guys. Stuff still happens. And then one more thing before we start talking to Chris. We have our Earthworks Hub business class meeting, or strategy session, we call it, on the 4th of February. So we sit there, we discuss people's businesses, talk about any issues and that one-on-one as a group in Zoom. And then we go through some of the templates as well. So we start talking about how to use the hourly rate calculator, how to use the volume calculator, all that stuff so that you can use it, and how to do quotes. Because all the business class tier or business class members get free access to every resource, every template. It's all included in their monthly membership. So if you want to join us, 4th of February between 6 and 7 p.m., that's a Wednesday, we're going to have that group discussion. So make sure you join the Hub Club business class member group. All right. That's it. Let me see. I've got nothing else here. That's it. I'll leave it there. Let's start chatting. Chris.
Yes.
All
I'm
right.
still
Let's
here.
do it, man.
Let's do
So tell us, give us a bit of a rundown on sort of what made you start looking at mental
The
health.
mental health.
Yeah.
I think so. For me, it started with my own issues. Up until I had my own serious issues, I hadn't really thought about it too much. So up until COVID came along and my business was dying very, very quickly. I had a landscape design and construction business. COVID destroyed it for me. I wasn't allowed to work. My clients lost their money. I lost money. I lost everything. So mentally, I was in deep shit. Like I've got two young girls. At the time, I was a single dad, et cetera, et cetera. And it's just how do you get out of that? There were many, many, many in the same situation, but I had never had to face that. Then in a different sort of timeline, um, my mother was diagnosed with terminal breast cancer. Um, my dad diagnosed with leukemia, a couple other deaths in the family, marriage breakdown, all this sort of stuff. And I couldn't stand the idea of becoming a victim and turning to substance, which is so easy to do. I could have gone out and drink every night, but thank God I made a decision one day and I called up a psychologist and I said, I'm going to need help. I'm going to need help. I've got two very young girls and I'm going to check out eventually if I can't get some things in place to keep me level, counterbalanced, to try to get a good sleep, to try not to turn to booze, to try not to fucking just give up on everything. I'm gonna lose my shit.
Yeah,
So that was the best thing I ever did, as a grown man, was to just call someone and say, I need help. I'm gonna need help. Mum's still dying, things are still happening, but I'm starting to learn to meditate and read and switch off and look after yourself a bit more and all that sort of stuff. So that's how I got into it, pretty much.
yeah, yeah. I
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think, a lot of people can probably resonate with that because
Mm,
I mean, I've met a lot of people over my time, in construction and in, manufacturing and all the other industries I've worked in, and I've seen a lot of people, all different age groups, different categories, different, ethnicity, background, and everyone has issues. Everyone has something somewhere, different age
mm,
groups. I've had guys
absolutely.
I remember when I was a manager at Waddle, I was 20 something years old, and I had these 50-year-old guys in my office sometimes
Mm,
crying
yeah.
because I've just called them in to give them a warning or say, like, "You're not performing," and then they start
Mm,
breaking down and telling me, like, they're having problems at home, and I'm
yeah,
like,
yeah.
"Holy shit, like, this is real, man. This is" like, these are guys twice my age, and I'm
Yeah,
thinking, "Oh my god," like,
yeah,
I thought only young people suffer with this sort of stuff, but it's actually older guys, man, and all age
absolutely,
groups. Yeah, so
absolutely. And I
yeah.
mean, to get to as an adult or anyone really, if you're getting to the point where the smallest thing is going to start to really trigger you, you're going to want to cry. You burst out in tears because you're watching a commercial or something like that.
Yep,
You know that you're at tipping point. So these guys you were dealing with, they've got a whole world behind them of pain and whatever it is. And that one thing you've done is upsetting them because they've just got so much behind them.
yep,
And yeah, that's what we need to talk about is like how to create foundations. I made a video and put it on Facebook recently about how to make foundations and try to give ourselves the tools and the knowledge to look after ourselves so that we can deal with not only small things as they come and go, but try to be prepared in a sense to deal with bigger things. Rather than, I deal with a lot of guys day in, day out, and some of them are so wound up and so heightened with whatever's going on in their life. And I say to them, brother, you are ready to explode. Like the drop of the hat, you can tell that this person is ready to blow up,
yeah,
whether it's road rage, whether it's whatever. They're ready to go because they've got too many tabs open and they are running red hot.
yeah,
And we need to stop. We need to avoid getting to that.
yeah.
Absolutely.
I say that to my wife sometimes. I say my memory, like, it's, I make it like a computer. My gigabytes, whatever, is all worn out. I've got no more memory left in there.
Yeah,
I'm done, man.
absolutely.
Like, I'm just finished. I can't have anything out. The next thing that happens, I'm
No,
just
that's
gonna
right.
lose it. I'm gonna snap. Yeah, I'll tell. It happens. It happens even now.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It does. It does.
Absolutely. So,
Yeah.
like with stress, and we'll do. You got kids and stress and work or business or whatever the hell it is, and if we don't take time to try to recalibrate ourselves, we're gonna explode, and then we're no good to anyone.
Yeah. It's
Once
true,
we're
man.
broken, we're done. It's like waiting for the car to finally blow up because we keep covering the oil light. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then once it's done, we're done. We're in deep shit.
How did you know, like, to call the psychologist? Because I think a lot of people don't know what to do, man, or who to turn to. So,
Um,
like, how did you
I
know,
don't
and what did
know.
the
I
doctor
just sort of, I think I called a doctor to make maybe a mental health plan. I think could have been how it happened, and they recommended, something a bit more like some real tools immediately. So rather than going through a mental health plan, which was going to take a long time, over 10 I wanted some hard conversations straight up. So yeah, I did a bit of research, just local, found someone and
Yep.
said, you got to get me in straight away. I need to start putting things in place. Yeah,
Yeah, it is, and a lot of people don't know you can go to a local GP and actually speak to them.
absolutely.
I'll be honest myself, man. I went years ago. Like I said, I was working at like a massive manufacturing facility, massive manufacturing company. A lot of pressure. I had a
Mm,
really pretty senior role for my age, and it was starting to get to me. And then we had kids, and then I had more
mm,
responsibility, and then it was all about money and houses,
mm.
and it was all like starting to get to me. And then my wife always says she reckons I had the what's that thing that women get when they after they have kids? Bloody postnatal.
Postnatal
She was saying, "I
depression.
think you bloody got postnatal,"
Yeah, yeah.
because I was like, I wasn't handling it well. Kids would be
Mm,
screaming at night, not sleeping, then getting up at 5 to go to work, and that was
mm,
killing me. And then I went and spoke to my doctor, and he was like, "You know what? You can go and get like you said, there's a health plan where you get like
mm.
five free visits to a psychologist or someone that
Yeah, yeah.
like someone you can talk to."
Yeah,
And I was like,
absolutely.
"Oh, okay." So I went and did it, and it actually helped, man. Like it actually,
Mm,
and then he started probing and asking questions like about
mm.
childhood and,
Yeah,
what was
yeah.
your upbringing like, and then what was your surroundings like. And even though everything was really, really good, sometimes
Mm,
there were like little things that might have triggered it, that little bit of extra pressure from the parents, or
mm.
maybe them arguing in front of you, and then it causes tension, and then that carries on for your life. And then as you
Yeah,
get
yeah.
older, that those things actually impact you, and the way you react to things and that. So and to pressure.
Yeah, absolutely.
So for a lot of people out there, yeah, there are choices, man. You can go
Mm.
and talk to your regular doctor, and that they should be able to guide you. And then, yeah, there's all that Beyond Blue and all those
Yeah, absolutely. I
other
think
ones.
the main problem is that we all know about is the stigma with mental health with men. Like that's no secret with anybody. We all know that it's either man up, toughen up, don't be a silk, don't be a pussy, don't do this. You feel like you're letting your partner down. You feel like you're letting your kids down. You feel like a failure. All these sorts of things. How do you take time off work and tell someone that you don't feel mentally well? Like you just, and so that is so hard to overcome mentally to say it's actually okay to need help. Like you got to do it. Otherwise, you're going to wind up without a family. You're going to wind up substance abuse. It's going to be much more detrimental than it is seeking help.
Yeah,
And when I get talking in my classes, in my training classes, and I might start talking about myself, or start talking about a bit of history, and then I get someone else to tell me a bit about them, they open up. Then someone else opens up. And then we'll end up having a nice, healthy, impromptu discussion about what we all do to look after our mental health.
yeah,
And
yeah,
this could be eight strangers. They've only known each other for 2 days out of a 3-day course, and all of a sudden, we're all talking about good shit.
yeah,
And that's so important just to have the chat because then somebody who thought that they, felt like a unicorn because they were the only one that they think is stuck in their head. It turns out that, hang on, that person and that person or that person's had this worse than me.
yeah,
You know what I mean? So it's everywhere we go. It's the same.
yeah.
Doesn't discriminate. Black, white, red, male, female, everything in between, all across the board.
Yeah, yeah. No, it's true, man. It's
Absolutely.
true. Very, very true. So we've had a few other people join. Sorry, I thought the chat went quiet. I wasn't sure if people were still chatting, but Rod from 10 Star Simulation just came on. Sorry, Rod, you just missed it. I actually gave an announcement earlier about your sponsorship. So thank you very much to Rod as well. He's the one that actually made it happen. So thank you. Yeah, and we're talking about mental health. So Chris is just telling how it doesn't discriminate. Anyone can have issues. Doesn't matter age, race, nothing, man. It's if
Yeah, yeah,
it's gonna get you, it's gonna get you.
yeah.
One thing I always say is that don't let it catch you. So my
Mm,
thing is when people say to me like, "How do you deal with stuff?" I always say, "I just don't let it catch me, man. If I'm too
mm,
busy, then it doesn't have a chance to catch up with me. So I just keep going. I don't like I just that's my way of beating like anxiety and all that sort of stuff. I just keep making
Got to
myself
keep
so
busy.
busy that I can't actually
Yeah,
even think
yeah.
about that. Like there's no time for it. Like
Yeah, well, if that works for you, that's that's good. People have got to find their own thing, whether it's gym, running, cycling, reading, walking the dog. Everyone's got to have an outlet. Like you got to be able to find a time just to be able to disassociate yourself from all the problems, all the toxicities, social media, stresses, whatever, and just try to regulate so you can stand back away from all the noise in your head and assess it and just come back into it with a bit of a fresh mind. If you don't do that, I mean, you seem to be doing okay with it. That's
yeah.
cool. But some people, they try and do that and they absolutely crack.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, so what are the other options in that? So, what are you looking at doing? Because I know you're saying you're trying to maybe make this passion become something a bit more. So, what are you
Yeah.
sort of
So
thinking? What's
I'm
the
just
outlook?
trying to look, I just want to create more awareness with it. I know there's a lot of groups out there, but, things that annoy me is the "Are you okay" day and things like that. We discussed this the other day, that's okay on the day, but then after that day, what happens? So I wanna try to create more awareness, and I do it through my training, but platforms like you and all the other companies, I wanna try to create a bit more of a platform where it's actually very normal, whether you're the supervisor, the apprentice, or something in between, to actually just have a chat and say, "Fellas, get around me for a minute, I need a chin wag, like, I just need a chat."
Yeah.
So, I don't know how I'm gonna do it or how we're all gonna do it, but it needs to happen because, with statistics I got in front of me right now, like, construction workers are 6 times more likely to die by suicide than from an accident.
Wow.
Male construction workers have twice the suicide rate of the general population. So male construction workers are twice likely than anybody else in Australia to commit suicide.
And do you reckon that's because of the masculinity thing in our industry?
I'd say definitely. I'd say a lot of ego, the stigma, the
Yeah.
yeah, so much of it. Absolutely. Like, I've had the biggest and the baddest fellas cry in front of me, but cry secretly. And then when they go back around the corner to their staff, it's back to game mode.
Yeah.
And like a lot of people, they've said that, they've tried travel, like obviously balancing long hours to provide and then missing out on things at home with their children and trying to create that balance. So I met a lot of fellas that have spent way too much time chasing more and more money. And before they know it, they missed out on their kids growing up. So when they get home, there's a detachment from them and their family. And they're in depression because they wish they had the time again. There's nothing they can do. I found that with a lot of fly in, fly out, a lot of mine workers that they've gone to chase the money, which is lucrative, obviously, but they start to lose the detachment of the relationships. Obviously, I'm not generalizing here. I'm just going by people that I've spoken to.
Yeah.
Um, to the point where they didn't want to come home on their time off because they didn't want to. It was too hard to see their kids again and actually say goodbye in a couple of weeks. So
Yeah.
these cycles, just
Yeah, like you say about money and that, it's very easy to get so tied up in our industry in working all the time. And then not only that,
yeah,
like not only do you go and have to work in with us with our excavators and machinery and trucks, we've got to actually go to work for the day, but then you got to come home, unload, prepare for the next day. So you spend
mm,
there's long days, and then on weekends you're usually doing some sort of maintenance or cleaning. So there's
mm,
a lot of time away from home. And I think you're right. Sometimes you can get that disconnect with your
mm.
partner or your kids
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
you just focused on that, and then you think, "Oh, no, I need to work a bit harder. I've got to make some more money
Mm,
so that we can have a break." But then that
yeah,
break never comes, and then you just keep working, and then before you know it, you're cracking because nothing's happening, and then uh, everyone else is not happy because you're not with them, and then yeah, like it,
mm,
it just like snowballs. So
yeah, absolutely. And it's just the worst cycle because like I deal with guys, I might deal with 16-year-olds, but I might deal with 55-year-olds that are trying to retrain and upskill or whatever it is, and they're looking at different struggles. Obviously, younger fellas have got different struggles, but the older fellas have more of a regret like they wish that they hadn't, they've built a beautiful house and all this sort of stuff. They've got a heap of toys, but they really regret spending time with their daughter or taking their kid on Saturdays to footy training and all that sort of stuff. Where that's what kids are going to remember.
Yeah. And you know what I've been doing lately? I've been dropped the microphone then. Whoops, too excited. What I've been doing lately is if I meet someone that's a little bit older, like close to retirement or semi-retired or whatever, I love to ask them questions and say, well,
Mm,
if you could take back time, what advice would you give me, or what advice would you give
mm,
some younger people? So the other day we had it was for the Christmas function for one of the guys I work for, and there was an older guy there, and he's like maybe 60, nearly 70, I think nearly 70 years old, still working, just works
mm.
sort of part time and that. And I just said to him, what would you say to the younger you, like, or to me? What would you say if you could take back time? And he said, Ivan, you know what I'd say? I'd say stop worrying about things. There's so many.
Mm,
Don't worry about every little thing, and not everything needs to be worried about at the same level.
mm,
Like some things you don't really need to worry that much. Just it'll
mm.
fix itself. Let it go. Like obviously,
Yeah, yeah.
it's not all just about luck and all that. You got to make things happen. But he was just saying, like, don't worry too much about things. Like things that you think important now, tomorrow you might look at them and go, well, wasn't even that big of a deal. Like what was I
Oh,
worrying about?
absolutely. And I do
Yeah.
it all the time. I worry myself stupid about things still. Like I know the tools and what to do to try to get my head out of it. And my missus will she'll be, Chris, you know what to do for yourself, so sort it out. Like
Yeah.
just planning everything to try to make sure that nothing goes wrong, but it's not happening for another week.
Yeah.
You're gonna go mad.
Yeah. Yep. True, man. True. Have you got any more
Yeah.
stats? What have you got? Have you got some other stuff?
Look, the main one that always comes back is obviously the stigma and how do you break through the stigma, um, which is going to be it's going to go on forever. Like I speak to guys on sites and they have things set up, um, like they know about it beyond blue and all that sort of stuff, but they're stuck in this in front of their colleagues. They might be a supervisor, they might be in charge of people. How the hell are they supposed to look weak and vulnerable um, to their apprentices? How does a boss say that he's got to have a day off because he's feeling mentally unwell? So I've discovered this sort of isolation with supervisors and business owners where they are isolated at the top on site because they don't have people to talk to. They might not be going in the car with the guys to work and all that sort of stuff. So there might be three, four, five guys that are driving into work together and they're talking about their lives and stuff. And that's healthier. But then when they get to work, they've got supervisors and stuff that are trying to keep the hierarchy.
Yep.
And so they can't just sit there and talk about their problems.
You know what? That's actually so true. When I think about that, you need to be as a supervisor or foreman or area manager or whatever,
Mm,
even as the business owner, and if you've got
mm,
workers and stuff, you're supposed to be this leader. You're meant to be the guy
mm.
that everyone looks up to, and
Yeah,
that puts
yeah.
a lot of pressure on you. And then yeah, if you are starting to have like little anxiety things or starting to feel a little bit depressed or you've got so much pressure on you and then you're
Mm,
starting to feel it and then you're trying to hide it because you don't want them to know about
mm,
it. That can
mm.
be tough. And then you don't want to show your family because you want to come home and you want everyone to think everything's all right. So
Oh,
then you're stuck.
absolutely.
I suppose, yeah, they're probably more
Yeah,
stuck because I always think about it from the operators and stuff down on the ground and the laborers and
yeah,
the
yeah,
workers. But I never really
yeah.
thought about it. And the manager, even if it's not his own business, they've got a bit extra pressure because they've got, KPIs, they've got results to come back
Absolutely.
to come to or whatever to reach,
Yeah.
goals. And then they've got to try and keep all the workers happy, keep their bosses happy. They're like stuck in the middle, yet they're having these
Mm,
issues and they can't talk to anyone because they don't want to look weak. Yeah, you're
absolutely.
right, man. I didn't even think about that.
Absolutely.
It's the management
Absolutely.
level. Yeah, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, 100%. So recently, like I've created a page, which I'm trying to get out there. And recently I had a fella contact me. Obviously, I'm not going to mention anything. And he's exactly in that position and on the verge of just doesn't want to be here and in tears because he's exactly in that position where he has responsibility, but everything is considered underneath him. He's got to be this. So how does he go from this and let him know that actually when he goes home at night, he's actually crying Or he sits out the front of his house down the street and will have 4, 5, 6 beers watching TikTok videos before he can face going inside, you know? And this is horrible. Like, this is horrible things. And, you know, many people say, like fellas say that they'd rather be at work than go home because they don't want to listen to the missus or whatever it is. And that's a huge problem.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, so something's got to happen somewhere. But you know, we
Yeah.
can't have relationships breaking down all the time and all this sort of shit. Then the kids get used as pawns. The kids are affected. All this sort of shit, and it just goes on and on and on.
Yeah, yeah. No, it's not easy,
Yeah.
man. It's not easy. The pen, I can see that pen moving all the time. Yeah, so
Oh, yeah. So it's a
it's a,
construction training group pen. There you
there
go.
you go, man. We're gonna
Yeah,
hand those
sorry.
out. We're gonna dish them out. So yeah, no, look, make comments, guys. Guys, it's very quiet in the chat at the moment.
Mm.
Make some
And it
comments,
normally
guys.
is very quiet with these conversations.
Yeah, you know
Like
what? Like
it can be.
every other week, it's pretty busy with comments.
Yeah, yeah,
Everyone's
yeah.
quiet. It's like everyone's gone into this zone and they're thinking about it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So
Absolutely. So
make
with my
comments.
with my Facebook page that I've only had going for about 7 days, like I can watch and see what's happening, you know, and I've had nearly 8,500 people visit the page now. And I get a lot of private messages, which I understand and it wants to be private, but because it's very, very hard just to come out and say, you know, I'm not well. Like I
Yeah,
just want to sleep. I can't face it. I just want to cry, you know, whatever it is, and it does go silent.
it
Bang!
does.
It'll just shut right up, and that's the
Yeah.
whole problem.
That's what's happening now. Everyone's gone quiet. Yeah. I'm going live now to tell everyone, come over. Yeah. There you go. Yeah, no, it's like you say, man, it's a tough topic.
Mm,
Probably needs to be more talked about. And like you say, we do
yeah,
have those "Are you okay" days and that, but like, is it
yeah, yeah,
enough? I don't know. Is it
yeah.
enough? And you know what happens too, man? I feel like people think like I haven't got time to listen to this guy's crap. Oh, I know he's probably
Yeah,
down.
yeah.
I've got my own shit to sort.
Absolutely,
I can't be bothered. Like let him sort it out himself. But you can't do that. I suppose
absolutely.
you can't always. Sometimes you got to actually be. You could be the one
Mm.
that is one step away from helping that person from making a bad mistake. Like,
Oh,
man,
100%.
you know what I mean?
So another statistic here: 75% of suicides are men. Suicide is the leading cause of death for Australians aged between 15 and 44.
There you go, man. That's
For
crazy.
every suicide, about 30 people have attempted it. So that's
Y-
crazy.
That's a
That's
lot,
crazy.
man.
It's huge.
So for every what?
Um,
For every suicide, there's been 30 attempts.
yeah, 30 attempts or more that have attempted it.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, and these
crazy.
are all just stats that I've taken off all the Beyond Blue, all the mental health sites, all the government sites in Australia, and
Yeah,
just compiled some shit because it's hard facts to look at. I mean, you think of, 75% of suicides, man. You stick 4 men in a room, that's three of these guys,
yep,
and that's fucking horrible. And what's it come down to? Like, so many men that I speak to have serious mental health problems, and it's led to substance abuse, etc., because of relationship breakdown, the family dynamics, and that has started from burnout, too much work, the disconnection, the arguing, the bickering, this. Then they detach, the kids detach, and they're on a downhill spiral.
there you go, man. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
That's how it happened. And then, like you say, it just keeps snowballing. And
Mm.
yeah, interesting, man. Interesting topic. So there's things that I've realized is that I didn't really look at it that from the management point of view. I always kept sort of looking at
Mm.
operators or small business owners and
Yeah,
that. But
yeah, yeah.
it's actually a lot of managers. Now I look back and I actually think about some of the job sites I worked on when I was operating with my machines and that. And
Mm.
there was some times where I remember one particular supervisor sticks out now, and he'd come in the mornings and he'd be like almost dry reaching. He'd come in and
Mm.
he'd be a little bit abrupt and that, running to
Yeah,
the
yeah.
office. And then he'd leave work sometimes, and people would say, "Where is he?" And I'd say, apparently he's gone." We'd ask him, they'd say, "Oh, he's gone to see he's got some appointment, whatever." And then the rumors were going around, "Oh, he's going to see a psychologist," and this and oh,
Mm.
this and that. And now I think about it, the poor guy, man, he probably was actually really suffering and that. And then
Yeah,
no
absolutely.
one looked at it that way. Like everyone's like, "Oh, what's wrong with him?" and that. But
Yeah.
he was probably suffering, man. He's probably like stressing out about work so much that he's dry reaching and that when he gets to work. So
Oh, yeah. Dry reaching, that's anxiety. That's straight up
yeah.
panicking.
Yeah,
That's horrible. That's horrible.
yeah,
With the classes that I do, the beginner classes for the excavator licensing and all that sort of stuff, I do 3-day courses and 10-day courses, and I get a lot of guys show up, day one, and they're nervous as hell, and you can see, and a lot of guys, international students coming in, English is their second language, da 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 da, but they're still there to learn, so they're going to get a good shot, and but they are scared. They're scared.
yeah,
Like, they sit there and they're looking around and they're panicking. So I try to soften it a lot, include absolutely everyone. I've got very strict rules on bullying, and I try to break through all the barriers and get them to chat, partner them up, and have these healthy little man on man competition type things,
yeah,
just to get everybody involved and realize that we're all here to do some shit. Like, let's just chat. And yeah, it's very helpful just to get people talking. So
yeah.
how do we get people talking, Ivan? How do we get managers at the top to start to filter down?
I know.
I think they would get so much more respect. If you went into a large civil mob, and let's say in a toolbox meeting, you actually have the supervisor or whatever, and she starts to talk about what they're going through at the minute. So, sorry team, I haven't been around much lately. I've actually got this. It humanizes everything. They'll probably have a lot much more, so much more respect come their way, because they're not just a boss and the worker. They're a human like us. They're in a
Yep,
position we need to respect their training and their experience. So we need to listen to that. But they're also a human. So let's cut them a bit of a slack as well. So
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
that's what I think.
I think that's a good one, man. That is, yeah. And also
Mm,
training, like if organizations can bring a lot more people in, like even like yourself, someone that comes in as like a spokesperson or a person that comes in and
mm.
talks about the issues to managers as well, and explain
Yeah,
to them that
absolutely.
it's okay to actually tell your staff that that you're suffering or you got issues and you need a bit of help.
Yeah.
And sometimes I might say, because I used to say that to my operators and stuff too, man. When I was flat out and I had too many things going, people owing me money and all sorts of things,
Mm.
they see me stressing out, and I used to say, "Sorry, boys, if I'm a bit abrupt today.
Yeah,
I've just
yeah,
got
yeah.
lots of shit going on." And
Yeah,
then they used to,
absolutely.
and the funny thing is though, sometimes they actually open up to me and go, "Hey, man, yeah, you know what? I'm actually suffering a bit too, man." And they start talking, and then I'm like, "Oh." And
Perfect.
then also what I realized is the signs that when
Mm,
guys are in trouble too, because I've had guys that
mm,
have had big issues with their partners at home, and they come to work a bit late and they're not usually
mm.
late, and then all these little signs, they're
Yeah.
very aggro during the day at work,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
usually they're
yeah.
jovial, mucking around, and
Mm,
then there's little signs, and then when I start asking them more and more questions, and then what I found was to soften it a bit, I'd give them something so that they give me something. So I'd say like, "Hey man, yeah, I remember when I had it was a bit tough for a while. I just did this and this."
mm,
And they're like, "Oh really? Did you have that too?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And then
mm,
they go, "Oh," and then they start opening up. So it's like some managers or business owners probably need to be taught how to do that,
mm.
how to slowly get into a conversation and get more out of their worker to see if they really,
Absolutely,
as a
because you
fa
would absolutely, I personally believe,
yeah,
and I was a business owner for 13 years, that if you can humanize each other, humanize the elements of life as well, they are gonna respect you and they're gonna work alongside you so much better than them thinking that you're a detached wanker that's just chasing money.
yeah,
If you can just, let down your guard and just show them that you're the same. You're in a
yeah,
different position, but you're human. We've all got stuff.
yeah, that's true, man.
Um, you know, uh, where I used to work, and I trained a lot of guys that had ended up in prison. I've trained a lot of guys that have ended up in prison and they've spiraled. And a lot of their decisions that led them to being incarcerated had started with relationship breakdown. And then it had spiraled to a bit of substance. Then it had spiraled to aggression, to punching somebody out at the pub, and then bang, loss of business all the way down, and it all could have been avoided,
Yep,
and then they found themselves, some of them were on manslaughter charges, some of them did some very simple things, and they ended up destroying their lives, and now they're trying to rebuild.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and that's hard.
Well, hopefully we can help them somehow. Hopefully a lot of people can listen to this podcast and share it. And what do we do? What do we do? So what sort of help can you offer? So if someone needs something, so you're saying you're going to try and do this sort of a little bit more? And that, like, can anyone reach out, or so you're saying you're making
So
a page as well, or
yeah, so I've got the Facebook page which will stick up, and but what I would like to do somehow is I'd like to come and talk to supervisors, business owners, that sort of stuff at the top, obviously, and talk about just exactly this and have workshops on it, create workshops where it's real, it's raw, it's hard facts. People can stick around and talk if they want. Another thing that I've found actually with a lot of men is that if they're having troubles at home, they don't know who to talk to because they've got to go to work, right? And they may not have the outlet at work. And then after work, they've got to be at home, right? So where in that are they supposed to go to seek help? Right. So where are they supposed to find an hour or an hour and a half to go somewhere, see a specialist, then come home? If they don't necessarily want their partner to know what they're going through because it could be related to them. So they just don't bother about it. So I'd like to bring it into the workplace where, on a nominated day, on a nominated week, or whatever it is that, we're coming in, we're going to do this, we're going to chat, da 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 da, like a confession room type thing, and just
yeah,
have a chin wag and open it up. And it's on company time because it's the biggest investment.
yeah.
And then they don't have to worry about sneaking around after hours and all that sort of shit
That's
because
that's
that's a huge factor.
it is, and that's
Mm.
where I remember Sean was saying that from the Shaka project. He was saying that he'd do like seminars or workshops, and then people wouldn't say much, but then at the end, he
Yeah,
silently
yeah,
he'd get one or two guys coming up
yeah,
to him, but
yeah,
they all start coming up to him silently because they don't want the whole class to see them. So there's a lot of
yeah.
people that
Which
suffer.
and
Like,
you can understand that. Like
yeah,
that's fine. Like it's not easy. It's not easy to stand up and say you got problems because you think you're going to be judged. You think that no one ever else has faced this. There's no one that can possibly help you. You don't want to cry. You don't want to be a sook. You don't want to say that you miss your kids. People think like that, but we need to break down that bullshit wall and just say we all do it. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how big you are, how many tattoos you got, whatever. We've all got our soft spots, and we've all got health that we need to look after.
very true, very true.
Absolutely, brother.
No, that's good, man. That's good. It's been a really, really good chat, Chris. I think
It's my
there's a lot
pleasure.
of people that would resonate with what we're talking about. If anyone
Absolutely.
on here that's listening, whether you're listening to a live or you're listening to this podcast later on, if you need to speak to someone, hit me up, hit Chris up. Yeah,
Absolutely.
feel free. I'll put up some information as well in the description. So when this goes up, I'll put up some info on how to contact all of us. And or seek help. Go talk to someone. Don't be shy to talk to one of your workmates. Don't be shy to talk to
Absolutely.
someone, even a senior person. Tell your supervisor or your boss,
Mm,
whatever, that you're suffering a bit, so that they can
mm,
sympathise with you and understand. Oh, actually, hang on a
absolutely.
second. Moba's just written here. Victorian Chamber of Commerce offers free talks for businesses regarding mental health and a range of resources. Moba is a member, so the Moba company is a member as well, and they plan to
Yeah,
have them at
beautiful.
one of their toolbox startups. That's the other
Yeah,
thing, yeah.
awesome.
Add toolboxes, bring them up
Yeah,
to toolbox
absolutely.
talks, bring up conversation. Thank you, Moba, for that
Absolutely.
info. Yeah, so the
Yeah, that's
VCT,
awesome.
Vicky.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. So it needs to go to the next stage. Somehow we need to get from awareness to discussion.
yeah,
Do you know what I
there's a
mean?
lot of
Like,
guys we talk about it, but
yeah,
then okay, so
yeah,
where do
that's
they go?
right.
Yeah, who can they
That's
talk
right.
to?
Then it stops, and then everyone gets on with their day. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah,
So somehow we need to work through, and it needs to become a common denominator. It needs to become a thing.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
That's it, man. That's it.
we
And
got to do it. We got to do it.
Rod from 10 Star is saying, awesome stuff. Keep it up. Happy to help spread the word where he can. Yeah, that's good, man. That's very
Awesome.
good. No, we'll keep doing it, and we'll have more chats like this anyway. This will be good to
Absolutely, brother.
see what the feedback is, and then do another one maybe in a few
Yeah,
weeks or something. See what happens.
absolutely. No dramas at all.
No, good, Chris. Thank you for that. But hang
You're
around.
welcome.
There's only another
Yeah,
10 minutes left. You might as well hang around. What I'm going to do now
I'll
is
hang
just
around.
open it up to people. If anyone wants to ask any questions, even if it's something to Chris or myself or earth moving related, what I will say is that during our Hub Club chats this week, I asked a question: what part of quoting do you find the hardest? Pricing, scope, or client expectations? So some guys came up with different things. Some guys were saying that they constantly underquote and underestimate how long things are going to take. So, they end up making some losses. Another guy was saying that he actually overestimates and he always tries to put on longer, thinking things are going to take him a lot longer to do, and then puts his 20% on top of that, and then in the end ends up losing the jobs, doesn't get him, and he's missed
Yeah,
out.
quotes
Well,
himself out of it.
yeah,
Yeah.
he works himself, and then he looks back at it
Mm,
and says, "Oh, I probably could have done it, for a bit less," but he just wanted to be extra safe and put that extra on, and then didn't get it. So it's
mm.
like, where's that balance, of when you're pricing things up? You had the landscaping business and that you were saying. How was it
Yeah,
for you,
yeah.
man? What was the hardest? Yeah,
Um,
what was the hardest? The pricing part, or trying to work out what the scope is,
oh,
or
look,
or
so
trying to
I
just keep
did
them happy?
landscape and carpentry. So I'd do full design and build of backyard, everything outside. Someone's building your house. I do everything from the fencing in, the concrete, paving, decking, pergolas, water features, right down to the plants. So there's a whole lot of work in there. And so I would have to break everything down to the nth degree, allow for things to go wrong, but you can't allow for everything to go wrong. You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
like it was hard. I'd probably go over my big quotes, 3, 4 times to see if I can shave something off or to see if I've missed something. You're worried about access, you're worried about rain. You can't allow for 2 weeks worth of rain days in every quote.
yeah,
Um, and then just the more jobs I did over the years, I was just trying to reflect, and I'd actually go through at the end of every job, I'd go through with my guys what went well and what didn't go well. So with the next job, what happened in terms of efficiency, or you know, what we're going to do next time better as a team to achieve. Like what? Yeah, but it's bloody hard. And then someone says, they tell you that they've got another quote and can you match it? But their quote isn't giving the detail of your quote. I used to try to put as much detail as possible to say, look, is it this for this? Are we comparing the same thing?
yeah.
Yeah,
That's the hardest part. Yeah, making sure that you're quoting exactly what they
yeah,
want. Because if you try and add things in there, the
mm,
other competing contractor may not have included those, so then yours sounds a lot more expensive. But so you got to double
yeah,
check,
absolutely.
the customer is actually giving you, or you're giving them exactly what they want, and not throwing stuff
Mm,
in there. And then if you
mm,
are doing that, let them know. Say, look, on the scope you haven't done this and you haven't said that. My scope
yeah,
includes
absolutely.
this. You got to tell them. So I suppose, yeah, quoting correctly is a big part of stuff.
Yeah, it's
Rod
it's a nightmare.
Rod from 10 Star is saying, "It was such a relief to know I wasn't the only one, and the problem shared is the problem halved." Yeah, there you go.
you
I
know,
know you're
you
talking
know
about.
that
Yeah.
that problem shared is a problem halved is the motto I have on my counselling page.
Is it? There you go.
That's the exact motto that I've got up there. A
There you
problem
go.
shared is a problem halved.
There you go.
That is exactly that.
I wonder if you actually read it or not. Maybe you went and had a look. I don't know. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
What a coincidence, man.
Yeah, there
There you
you
go,
go.
man.
But
There you
that's
go.
so true, yeah. But,
That's funny,
another
man.
thing I used to find with, quoting and stuff was having, like, obviously the landscape and carpentry side was very visual, so being able to send potential clients to someone else's house and give them a visual, or you can meet us on site, have a look at what we're doing, talk to our current client, and you'll see the whole aspect of everything, like having addresses that you can give them to go and visit. That was a very good selling point.
Yeah,
If
that's a
somebody
good
doesn't
one.
have a Facebook page or somebody doesn't have addresses to hand out in the local area, who are they and why don't they have contacts of happy customers?
That's true, man.
Mm,
Yeah. If you
yeah,
can, like now, nowadays we've obviously got, all the social media, so you can take photos of things that you
absolutely.
do. But also, even saying that, how do you know it's not AI, or how do you know it's not someone
Yeah,
else's work?
yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah,
if you can tell the customer, look, come and meet me at my other job that I just finished, it's
100%.
it's genuine. You know what I mean? They can see
Yeah,
what you've
yeah.
done, and they can talk to the other customer. They might say, hey,
That's right.
Chris was
That's
really
right.
good, or Chris was really bad. Who knows? Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. You'd only put them on the good ones.
Yeah,
But,
that's right. Yeah.
not all clients are angels either, sometimes you like to give
Yeah.
feedback on their behavior, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. Yeah.
But I always found that having, especially with the big jobs, like $100,000 backyard makeover is massive. It's a lot of money. And then, when I'd be sending through the quote or whatever in the design, I'd have some contact numbers that they can call of current and just finished clients, so they can come out, and I've obviously asked them if it's okay, so they can come and have a look at exactly what's happening, what I've done very, very recently. That was also a really good selling point.
That's a good bit of
Yeah.
advice for people. Yeah, there you go. So
Mm.
take that on board, guys. Take that on board.
Yeah.
And then for anyone that isn't sure how to quote, I actually have here's a bit of a plug for my website again.
Oh, absolutely, brother.
oh,
It's your show.
That's the one, man. On the website, you can actually get yourself a quote builder. So I've made a calculator on there that you can type in all your bits and pieces, their machinery, equipment, material, time, labor, all that sort of stuff, plus a contingency, plus your profit margin, and it works out all the calculations for you. Then you can copy and paste it into a little second tab, which is like a little quote summary, and then you can actually use that in your official quote. Or you can actually buy one of the quote templates. There you go. So
That's cool.
yeah, I've tried to make it as easy as possible for people. You can just go on there, get these templates, and use them for your business. So there you go. And then you can volume estimator to work out your volumes. You can use what else is on there? Converter. So if you're dealing with crushed rock where it's measured in tons instead of meters, it's got a converter there. So I made a little conversion table thing. So heaps of stuff available, man, on there. So go check it out, guys, in the shop section of Earthworks Hub. There's a couple of freebies in there too. So, and if you become a member of Earthworks Hub, some of the tiers, different levels, get different access to those. So some of them get access to a few of those templates. Business class gets access to all of them. There you go. Anyway,
perfect. That's good, bro. Good stuff.
I've got to stop plugging it now. All right. Thank you very much to everyone for joining us. Don't forget to like this, subscribe so that you know about this whenever it comes up again. So basically every Sunday. I'll do random podcasts throughout the week as well. I do go live during the week on Instagram just while I'm working and stuff. So keep an eye out for that. These episodes go up on YouTube, Spotify, Apple. There's a couple of other smaller ones. What else? Go to the website if you haven't done already, go and list your business on the website. So make sure that everyone can find you. If you've got an event, you can put it on there, or a job or whatever. It all goes up on the website. Make sure you check out the Hub Club. Become a member today so you can get in the draw for stuff as well. What else? And like and follow and all that on Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, TikTok. I don't know, all those social things. So we're everywhere. We are basically Earthworks Hub is everywhere. More news to come about the Sydney Diesel Dirt and Turf Expo. So we're doing a lot more stuff leading up to that. So we're going to be there. And that's it. And mentoring. Yeah. So if you want to do one-on-one sessions, if you don't want to just do the group ones, you can do one-on-one sessions and talk about your work or whatever. Even mental health, man. If you want to have someone booking for a session, you can do that. Just hit me up, send me a message. That's it, man. From my aspect, I am done. Chris, is there anything you want to finish with or lead off with, or you done?
No, mate. Just let's just get shit rolling, guys. Let's just open it up a bit more and a bit more and a bit more. One conversation with somebody that doesn't see themselves today could save their life.
Yeah,
literally could save their life.
Exactly, man.
And it's so important. We've got kids to go home to. We've got all these sorts of things. We need to look after ourselves. We need to look after ourselves. Like we'd look after our machines, like we'd look after our tools. If it's not working properly, make the adjustments, get the roadworthy done, sort it out so that you can operate properly.
Yeah, very true. Well said, man.
That's what I reckon, brother.
What was your Facebook page? Sorry, for anyone that wants to go check it out.
It's I'll put a link on it if that's cool. It's it's counselling and mediation, and it's just my name. So there's a few of them around Australia, but I'll put my link up. I'll send it to you.
All right, done.
You can throw that around. Would be awesome.
No worries, man. Done.
Get some conversations going.
Done deal. All right, Chris Meadows.
Thanks for having me.
No worries, man.
Thanks,
Good
brother.
chatting, and we'll keep talking and stuff. Everyone else, thank you very much for joining us. Make sure I see you on the next one as well. Share this. Make sure everyone knows about Earthworks Hub and jumps on the Earthworks Hub train. Have yourselves a great week. Once again, happy Australia Day, and take care. See you guys.
Yeah.
For trucks, obviously. On the lot.
He became steel resistant.